step into the dusty boots of the Old West, where every job came with a price tag written in sweat, blood, and unyielding grit. Beyond the allure of frontier freedom lay the harsh realities of survival, where common jobs meant facing daily trials that tested the very limits of human endurance. From lawmen to lumberjacks, each role carved its place in history amid unforgiving landscapes and lawless towns. Join us as we unveil the 10 gritty truths behind the common jobs that shaped the rugged spirit of the Wild West. Number 10. Ranch work. In the tapestry of American folklore, few figures loom larger than the cowboy, immortalized as a symbol of rugged independence and adventure. Yet beneath the cinematic glamour lies a stark reality of toil and danger. The cowboy, a pivotal figure in the shaping of the American West, wasn't merely a romantic hero, but a vital cog in the machinery of frontier economies. The cowboy's primary duty revolved around the arduous task of cattle herding, essential for transporting livestock across vast, untamed landscapes. This responsibility wasn't just a matter of steering cattle. It was a relentless battle against nature's whims and human predators. Outlaws lurked in the shadows, poised to rustle cattle and turn a quick profit on the clandestine market. Vigilance became a way of life for these guardians of the herd, blending the roles of protector and laborer in a demanding dance of survival. Origins trace back to the vaqueros of Mexico, whose expertise in livestock management and horsemanship laid the foundation for the American cowboy. The vaqueros, known for their mastery of lassoing, herding, and fence building, brought not only skills but a cultural legacy that shaped the cowboy ethos. This fusion of Mexican and Anglo traditions birthed a unique breed of horsemen whose livelihoods depended on their ability to endure the grueling rigors of frontier life. Economic compensation offered some solace amidst the harsh realities. Cowboys earned wages that, by the standards of the time, were respectable, typically ranging from $25 to $40 per month. Adjusted for inflation, this would equate to roughly $1,500 to $2,000 today. However, these earnings came at a steep cost. Days stretched far beyond the confines of a modern workday, with no respite or paid leave in sight. The workday began at dawn and often continued until dusk, dictated by the needs of the herd rather than the whims of time. Beyond the silver screen's portrayal of heroics, the true narrative of the cowboy unfolds, a narrative of endurance, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of livelihood in an unforgiving frontier. Their legacy lives on in America, where the cowboy embodies the indomitable spirit that defined the Old West. Number 9. Law enforcement. The Old West conjures images of lawlessness and frontier justice, immortalized in countless tales of gunfights and outlawry. While Hollywood often romanticizes these aspects, the truth of the era reveals a more nuanced reality. While instances of banditry did occur, the pervasive lawlessness portrayed in popular culture was not as widespread as commonly believed. In fact, the emergence of law enforcement roles marked a pivotal effort in establishing order across the untamed frontier. In the absence of formal state law enforcement, nascent communities in the Old West took matters into their own hands, giving rise to figures such as sheriffs, deputies, and bounty hunters. These individuals played critical roles in maintaining order, apprehending criminals, and safeguarding settlements. Their duties extended beyond mere enforcement. They symbolized justice in a land where survival often hinged on swift and decisive action. Legal professionals, including lawyers and judges, also found lucrative opportunities in frontier towns. Their expertise ensured that legal proceedings were conducted fairly, despite the challenges posed by remote and often lawless environments. Executioners, too, were valued members of these communities, tasked with carrying out sentences against those who threatened the fragile peace. As civilization expanded westward, so did the demand for structured law enforcement. Established towns saw the emergence of U.S. Marshals and other formal law enforcement agencies, offering stable employment and a sense of civic duty. However, the frontier was not immune to corruption, with some towns falling under the sway of criminal elements and corrupt officials who exploited their positions for personal gain. The fight against lawlessness was not without its risks. Bounty hunters, operating somewhat outside the conventional legal framework, pursued lucrative rewards for apprehending fugitives. Their roles were fraught with danger, yet they played a vital role in complementing the efforts of formal lawmen. Despite the challenges, the allure of enforcing law in the Wild West was undeniable. It offered not only prestige, but also financial stability, making it a viable career choice for those brave enough to confront the frontier's perils. Number 8. Mining. Mining has often been portrayed as a gritty and demanding profession, devoid of glamour and fraught with peril. This perception held true in the coal mines of the East Coast, where the risks often outweighed the rewards. However, on the expansive canvas of the American frontier, mining took on a different guise. Here, miners delved into the earth in pursuit of precious metals like gold and silver. Often working alone or in small groups, they embarked on a quest where a single strike could transform fortunes overnight. The allure of striking it rich drew countless men to the frontier, leading to the rapid growth and settlement of towns throughout the West. While many sought wealth, few achieved lasting success, yet the promise of riches remained a powerful magnet. As the mining industry evolved, so too did the range of minerals extracted from the earth. Beyond gold and silver, miners unearthed iron, copper, oil, and gas, expanding the economic opportunities in the region. Despite the potential for wealth, the reality of mining was far from easy or safe. Safety measures were often inadequate, and the health of miners was frequently disregarded in favor of productivity. Historical records highlight the grim conditions faced by miners. In places like Butte, Montana, studies revealed alarmingly high rates of tuberculosis among miners, far exceeding national averages. The prevalence of dust and hazardous working conditions contributed to these health crises, reflecting broader challenges across the industry. Similar conditions persisted in numerous mining operations across the West, where miners endured physically demanding labor in pursuit of prosperity. The harsh realities of mining meant that miners often sacrificed their health and safety in the pursuit of wealth. While some struck fortunes that altered their lives forever, many more faced hardship and adversity. Number 7. Railroad work. As the mining and ranching industries thrived in the Old West, related job opportunities expanded exponentially. The westward expansion of the Central Pacific Railroad, in particular, demanded an immense workforce. While many sought employment, the demand often outstripped local supply, necessitating innovative solutions to fill labor shortages. To meet this challenge, the Central Pacific turned to Chinese immigrants, a pivotal development in the frontier's history. These immigrants not only bolstered the railroad's construction, but also introduced a significant demographic shift to the West. Their contribution was not merely in manual labor, but also in reshaping the cultural and economic landscape of frontier towns. Economic incentives were substantial in the railroad business. Monthly wages, equivalent to approximately $1,000 in today's terms, offered financial stability amid the uncertainties of frontier life. For settlers and immigrants alike, these wages provided a semblance of stability in an otherwise harsh environment, fostering economic growth and community development. The Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroad companies jointly laid over 1,700 miles of track across the expansive western terrain, a monumental feat that required enormous financial investment and human effort. The physical toll on laborers was staggering, with many enduring grueling conditions to meet construction deadlines and overcome logistical challenges. Despite the hardships, these railroad workers played a pivotal role in shaping the American frontier. Their labor not only facilitated the efficient transportation of goods and people, but also accelerated the pace of modernization in remote regions. Without their tireless efforts, the development of the frontier would have been significantly delayed, impacting the trajectory of American expansion and industrialization. Number 6. Saloon bartender. Saloons epitomized the essence of the Wild West, ubiquitous in nearly every frontier settlement alongside lawmen and cattle ranchers. Their straightforward setup made them a lucrative enterprise for entrepreneurs, serving as vital social hubs for the adult male population of frontier towns. These establishments required little more than a roof, basic furnishings, and, of course, alcohol to thrive. Often among the first businesses to open in newly settled towns, saloons provided a crucial outlet for settlers enduring the harsh realities of frontier life. With a predominance of single men, particularly in the early days of settlement, saloons naturally evolved into social epicenters where men gathered to socialize and seek respite from their daily toils. Employment at a saloon was a viable option for those seeking work in the West. The job offered flexibility in scheduling and typically decent pay and tips, allowing workers to save money and potentially advance to other service-related careers. The size of the saloon determined the staffing needs. Smaller towns operated with minimal staff, while larger establishments necessitated a broader range of roles, from bartenders to gambling operators and tobacco room attendants. As saloons proliferated, so did job opportunities. The expansion of these establishments created a demand for additional staff, contributing to the economic growth of frontier communities. Despite the steady employment opportunities, working in a saloon often carried a social stigma, particularly among more religious residents who viewed saloon keepers and their employees as morally suspect. The job also entailed dealing with rowdy patrons and maintaining order, tasks that were far from glamorous but essential for maintaining business operations. Nevertheless, saloon work provided stability and financial security for many in the unpredictable frontier environment. It reflected the evolving social dynamics and economic necessities of the expanding West, where entrepreneurship and community gathering places played crucial roles in shaping frontier culture and economy. Number 5. Blacksmith. The blacksmithing trade, while perhaps less glorified today, was indispensable during the era of the Old West, renowned for its reliability and profitability. As frontier communities expanded and settled, blacksmiths emerged as pivotal figures, revered for their expertise in crafting essential tools and equipment that sustained daily life. In the rugged frontier environment, settlers and ranchers relied heavily on blacksmiths to forge and repair a wide array of implements. From basic tools like hammers and horseshoes to heavy agricultural machinery such as plows and shovels, every piece needed to withstand the harsh demands of frontier existence. Blacksmiths played a crucial role not only in maintaining these tools, but also in innovating new designs to meet evolving needs. The compensation for blacksmiths was notably lucrative by the standards of the time. Earnings varied, with daily wages ranging from $1 to $150 for repairs and significantly more for crafting new equipment, amounts equivalent to approximately $100 to $200 in today's currency. These earnings were substantial, reflecting the critical nature of their skills and the essential services they provided to their communities. Beyond tool-making, blacksmiths diversified their services, often extending their craftsmanship to include the repair and fabrication of carriages and other metal goods. This versatility not only expanded their clientele, but also enhanced their earning potential, prompting many blacksmiths to take on apprentices to assist with daily tasks and ensure the continuity of their trade. The influence of blacksmiths extended far beyond economic contributions. They were central to the physical and economic development of frontier settlements. Their skill in crafting durable tools and equipment not only supported daily life, but also contributed to the infrastructure that shaped the expanding West. For decades, blacksmiths thrived in their profession, leaving an enduring legacy as foundational craftsmen of the American frontier. Number 4. Banking and finance. While popular imagination often portrays the Wild West as a lawless realm fraught with danger, the reality of frontier banking paints a more nuanced picture. Despite occasional incidents of armed robberies, banking in many Western towns was primarily a legitimate and stable occupation. Banking institutions in the frontier varied in ownership and structure. Some were privately owned by local investors, while others operated under larger corporations such as the Hudson Bay Company and Wells Fargo. These establishments played a crucial role in facilitating economic growth, particularly following the California gold rush, which sparked a surge in demand for secure financial services. The discovery of gold not only fueled the need for banks, but also diversified employment opportunities within them. From bank owners to tellers and clerks, positions were plentiful, offering steady income and relative stability in an otherwise unpredictable frontier environment. The establishment of the United States national banking system in 1863 further bolstered the industry's credibility by standardizing currency transfers and mitigating risks associated with unreliable wildcat banks. Regulation brought a newfound sense of security to banking operations, enhancing public trust in financial institutions. Similar to the esteemed status accorded to educators of the time, banking emerged as a respected and essential profession in the fabric of the Old West. It provided not only financial services, but also contributed to the economic development and stability of frontier communities, marking a pivotal evolution in the region's economic landscape. Number 3. Teaching school. Education has always been foundational to societal progress, essential for passing knowledge from one generation to the next. This importance was particularly pronounced in the Old West, where despite the presence of saloons and other establishments, the need for formal education was widely recognized. As frontier towns grew in size and stability, securing skilled educators became a priority. Teaching in an Old West town was demanding yet held in high regard. Teachers faced long days and diverse educational needs among their students. Despite these challenges, teaching offered a sense of consistency and purpose amidst the rugged frontier life, attracting individuals seeking to contribute to the future of the expanding communities. The iconic one-room prairie schoolhouse, often depicted in popular culture, was a common sight across the frontier. These schools presented unique challenges for educators, who were tasked with instructing students of varying ages and abilities under one roof. Adaptability and creativity were essential as teachers navigated diverse educational needs, emphasizing literacy through foundational skills like reading, writing, and arithmetic. Through their dedication and strategic lesson planning, teachers played a crucial role in fostering literacy and knowledge across the Great Plains and beyond. Their efforts were instrumental in shaping the next generation of settlers, contributing to the process of settling and civilizing the untamed wilderness of the Old West. While higher education options were limited during this era, the expansion of accessible schooling each year marked significant progress in community development and societal advancement. Number 2. Journalism. The frontier may not have initially seemed conducive to a thriving newspaper business, yet newspapers were surprisingly prevalent. Take, for instance, the small town of Tucson, Arizona, as recorded in the 1831 census, with 5 different newspapers despite having only 466 residents. Almost one newspaper for every 100 locales. In the vast expanse of the West, people had a strong appetite for news, prompting the proliferation of newspapers and magazines across frontier towns. With no television or radio, settlers relied heavily on these publications as a primary source of information, making them a cost-effective means of disseminating news. Many Western residents, often literate due to the efforts of school teachers, eagerly consumed these papers. The newspaper industry encompassed a range of roles essential to its operation. Beyond writers who crafted articles, specialized staff in design and printing ensured these words came to life on paper. Additionally, every town had dedicated individuals who distributed newspapers to readers, underscoring the diverse workforce needed to sustain each publication. Content in these newspapers was diverse, covering local news, updates from the East Coast, political commentary, and even sports. For individuals with a knack for writing and a desire to inform, the Old West provided ample opportunities. Running a newspaper meant not only reporting, but also shaping public opinion and keeping communities connected and informed. Number 1. Service industry. Gigs. The Old West presented abundant opportunities for aspiring entrepreneurs and workers alike. As frontier towns sprang up, a diverse array of businesses emerged, each requiring a different set of skills. While professions like blacksmithing demanded specialized expertise, the burgeoning service industry provided viable career paths for those with more versatile abilities. Restaurants, hotels, saloons, and other establishments became integral parts of frontier life, offering various employment opportunities. Every business, whether it was a bustling saloon or a modest hotel, relied on a workforce to ensure its smooth operation and profitability. In transient frontier towns, where travelers constantly passed through seeking shelter and sustenance, the demand for service workers in hotels and eateries grew significantly, underpinning the town's economic infrastructure. As the 20th century approached, advancements in transportation, particularly the expansion of railroad networks, transformed the food and hospitality industries in the West. Previously inaccessible delicacies, such as oysters, began to reach frontier towns, requiring chefs and staff with specialized culinary skills to cater to evolving tastes and expectations. Despite the rustic conditions of many early hotels, which often lacked modern comforts like bathtubs and were notorious for their cleanliness issues, they provided essential lodging for weary travelers. The growth in both the number and quality of hotels mirrored the region's economic development and the increasing influx of settlers and visitors. The service industry thrived in the West, offering steady employment opportunities even in the absence of luxurious amenities found in later years. This growth not only supported local economies, but also contributed to the cultural and social fabric of frontier communities, where hospitality played a central role in welcoming newcomers and sustaining local commerce. Special work. Crime. Outlaws and bandits have become iconic figures of the Old West, often romanticized in popular culture. While their presence was indeed a reality, the truth behind their exploits often diverges from the Hollywood portrayal. In the remote and lawless settlements of the frontier, the absence of formal law enforcement allowed for a certain degree of freedom that attracted both adventurous spirits and those with less honorable intentions. For many settlers, the lack of stringent laws meant they could live independently, making their own rules far from the constraints of established society. However, this freedom also attracted individuals of dubious character, including violent outlaws who exploited the vulnerabilities of frontier communities. These criminals, often reviled by law-abiding citizens, operated outside societal norms, taking what they wanted through force and intimidation. Among the ranks of these outlaws were disillusioned men who, for various reasons, found themselves excluded from more conventional opportunities. The allure of quick riches and the thrill of living outside the law enticed many into lives of crime. However, the reality of outlaw life was harsh and perilous. While some outlaws managed to evade justice for a time, many faced swift and violent retribution from law enforcement officials determined to uphold order in the frontier towns. Contrary to popular belief, the Old West was not a lawless free-for-all indefinitely. Despite the challenges, law enforcement agencies gradually established a presence in the frontier, bringing lawbreakers to justice through a combination of local vigilance committees, sheriffs, and occasional federal intervention. Famous gunfights and outlaw exploits, while sensationalized, often ended abruptly with the capture or demise of the perpetrators. The romanticized image of the outlaw's life in the Old West belies the harsh realities faced by those who chose this path. The risks of imprisonment or death were constant threats, and the transient nature of outlaw careers meant few survived to enjoy the spoils of their criminal activities into old age. And there you have it, 10 gritty realities that defined daily life in the Old West. From dangerous mining shafts to the unpredictable life of a cowboy, these jobs were far from romantic. If you found this glimpse into history fascinating, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more insightful explorations of the past. Join our community of history enthusiasts, and let's keep uncovering the truths behind the legends of the Wild West together.